The splendor of the West Coast and its floral kingdom has been painted, written and sung about, and now it's captured in a range of toffees and caramels. Darling Sweet is a co-production of former medical rep and antique shop owner Fritz van Reineveld with artist, lecturer and chef Henty van der Merwe.
How are you, sir?
Yes.
Where did all of this begin?
We started Darling Sweet when Fritz and I met end of 2013. So we immediately started talking about starting a business together. And in June 2014, we employed our first 2 members of staff. We bought a single pot and we started making toffee. And that's where it all started.
They converted an antique shop into their kitchen, began producing 3 toffee flavors, and the brand has grown so much, Henty has resigned from lecturing to be a full-time product developer.
For us, the ingredients are very important in terms of the quality, but also about our clean label status. It's all like ingredients that from your mother's cupboard, like condensed milk, and then there's the butter. Our whole process is handcrafted in a way. Even the packaging, a lot of it is done by hand. So, and the thing about doing it small batches at a time is the quality can be pretty much consistent. And also that kind of caramel smell, that's what happens over a certain period of time in the cooking process. So in order for that to happen at its fullest, we need to cook it by hand, yeah.
They've recently launched a range of toffee spreads, and today they employ 32 staff and have moved to larger premises, which once housed Darling's general dealer business. An initial export to the US went well, and the international market now calls.
This is the dry room where all the packaging happens.
Yes. So once the toffee's been poured into the pans, it comes in here and we wait for it to set. And then we start to cut it, and then once it's been cut into little blocks, we separate them, and then it goes on to our 2 toffee wrapping machines. And then also, by the way, the film that we use is made from cornstarch, so it's completely biodegradable. And that's one thing that I think is so important for manufacturers today of any product, but also food products, is the packaging must be environmentally friendly. So all our packaging is either recyclable or it is biodegradable.
The brand worked with Peter Dirk Ace on a Tani Evita's classic toffee, and their range currently runs to 10 flavors, from coffee to licorice to far more adventurous ones.
This is where the public can come and taste all our toffees and our caramels, which we recently launched, and also, of course, view the whole process that we make the toffees.
We're finally here at the part I've been waiting the whole day for. And I'm looking at all these flavors and I'm a bit spoiled for choice.
In terms of our flavors, we try and do a combination of the classic, like the favorites, like the classic toffee, the mint, the licorice, but then also we do some crazy ones that are like, interesting and people are intrigued, and it's all about kind of the experience. So with the bird's eye chili, we thought, let's combine that with citrus, the flavor of citrus, by using the citrus rind. It's not like super overpowering. It won't like make you all go red in the face. It'll just sort of like tingle the back of your throat.
I can definitely pick up that zestiness that you're describing, and that chili is a bit of a tickle in the back of my throat. It's not like anything I've tasted before, wow.
Fez took a shine to the honey and salt, orange and cranberry, mint. Basically, he didn't meet a toffee flavor he didn't like.
Clearly, I'm very decisive.
Another local success story is Darling Brew. Slow beer is not only the name of their first beer, it's their philosophy, highlighting a slow fermentation process overseen by brewmaster René Dutoy.
Your beer is one of a kind. It has a very unique taste. What are some of the main ingredients that you use when you make it?
So beer is actually surprisingly simple. There are only 4 ingredients. It's what you do with them that makes the difference.
Okay.
So the very first most important thing is our water. The next most important ingredient, which is what we call the heart of the beer, is the malt. And we use malted barley, as well as in some of our beers, malted wheat, malted rye, different varieties. You're welcome to have a look at that. And you get some with different roasts. Some of them are really dark, coffee-like roasts. You're welcome to have a taste of that as well.
It's a very earthy smell. I can kind of already start smelling how the beer is going to come out from just sniffing this.
Yeah, so what you've tasted there is a roasted malt. And so that's the heart of the beer, and the soul of the beer is the hops. Now, hops is a very special plant. It provides the bitterness to the beer, also provides the aroma to the beer. That is the one that makes the magic happen. That is our yeast, which turns all of those into this.
Fez has long enjoyed the bottled product that emerges at the end of the process. Here was the beginning.
The very first step is our mash tun. We're going to take our malted barley, grind it into a very coarse flour, which we call grist, mix that with warm water. The next step is to take that mash and separate the liquids from the solids. That liquid, sugary liquid that comes out of there, we call wort. Our third vessel, our wort kettle, so that sugary liquid, the wort, it's taken across here and gets boiled. In that boil is where the second part of the magic happens. We add the hops and the yeast gets added into that. And then the yeast starts working its magic on the sugars and the nutrients in the beer.
Having listened to you and heard the processes that go into making the different types of beers, can't wait to get to tasting.
Great stuff. Let's go taste some beer.
Perfect.
Each brew is named after an endangered or rare animal, like the black rhino, honey badger, or spotted hyena. The brewery's focus on sustainability extends to offering carbon-neutral beers, and there's a constant focus on new, fresh tastes.
Wow, I didn't know there were going to be this many to try out, and it looks like a color spectrum. Not going to lie though, this one looks very intimidating.
That's the newest addition to the range. It's our new winter seasonal. It's a Russian Imperial Stout. So have a whiff of that, have a taste of it. I'm not going to tell you what to expect, just go for it. It's quite chocolatey. That's coming from our roasted malts. It's quite strong, 8% alcohol. And what it's also got in it, making it unique, is Madagascan vanilla seeds. And we go beyond just making beer.
Thank you, thank you. Of course, what's beer without a snack? I know you guys have just recently launched this beer grain chip.
So what it is the spent grains that are left over from the brewing process, once we've extracted most of the nutrients from them. They're still rich in fiber, proteins, actually usually valued as an animal feed. And we do send some of that away to farmers locally who produce meat locally. Some of that meat is brought back into our restaurant. But some of it we keep aside for Christo, who's brought you these chips. And he makes a very unique product from it. I can only say, taste it and judge for yourself.
With enough chips and toffee to get him to Cairo, thankfully Fez only had a short trip to the Atlantic coast and Paternoster, where Danny Breitenbach has been guiding kayaking trips for over a decade.
Hey Donnie, I see you getting ready for our big adventure. I need to know, what are the important safety tips that I can make it there and back in one piece?
You don't have to be a pro to do it. So we're going to have a life jacket. We're just going to head out straight over the first waves. We're going to have a look first and see that the sets of waves come through. And you can go out, and what we normally do is to take the guys out to the rocks over there, where, you know, we've got the cormorants, we've got penguins, and if you're lucky you can even see, you know, the seals, and from a month or so ongoing we'll see the whales, you know, so that's really something definitely to see.
Fez would have loved the dolphins, seals, and visiting the local penguin colony. If only he could have stayed upright for long enough. Despite Dani's experience, advice, and best efforts, the scenic trip will be remembered as a cold wash and rinse by the good doctor.
What an incredible adventure. I wasn't kidding when I was saying the waves were choppy. I didn't imagine the water was that cold though, but my heart is beating in my chest and that's keeping me warm. What do you think, Dan? Time to call it a day?
Definitely. Nice, cold and wet.
Oh, let's go get warm.
Fez returned to the scene of his defeat and opted for motor power this time, in the form of Peter Corizon's boat.
You're going to be the man who's going to be taking me out on that water and showing me the ropes.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
beautiful. Yeah. My fishing is very good. Great. But my English not so good.
Paternoster is known as a fisherman's town, and the cold waters boast a range of delicious, sustainable seafood. And the seal, like Peter, knows exactly where the day's best fishing is to be done.
Peter, I know nothing about fishing. Can you at least show me what we're going to be using today?
This is the line, okay?
Line.
We fish with. Now I put the bait on. We use white and black mussel. I put it in the water. Now you can take it.
I'm feeling lucky today. What kind of fish can I expect to catch?
We're catching hardest, okay, caipirim, snook, and crayfish.
Fez could taste lunch already.
Yes, yes. Come on. Looks like it's going to be salad for the braai. Surgeon's hands, clearly not fishermen's.
Today, it's tourism which supports many of the families, so Fez was proud to shine a light on Annelies van Zyle's hometown.
It's my first time here in Paternoster, and I must admit, it's one of the most picturesque places I've ever been to. You guys get to live here every day. What's it like?
Well, we have this awesome beaches, the clean white beaches, the early morning quietness of the water, and the fishermen taking the boats out to see what they can catch for the day. Yeah, and we are one lovable community looking after each other. So what more can we ask for?
A roaster cook and fish fry was Fez's welcome, with Bix Jordan doing the honors.
What fish are we going to be working with today?
Oh, I've got some nice fresh hangburger. It's a white fish. And my ingredients is lemon butter, parsley, peppercorns, salt, and lemon juice.
There are more complex ways of cooking a fish, but when your seafood is this fresh, the basic ingredients let the flavor of the fish be the hero. Doc Mkhize couldn't remember ever enjoying the simple fruits of the sea as much as this.
Guys, thank you so much for having me this afternoon. And I loved this, what is it,
Rooster cook.
Rooster cook. It's delicious. Books, this fish was impeccable. I have to say, today has been nothing short of perfect. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fez vowed to return with company.